What is the worst case of post-nut regret you've ever had? I messed around with a girl just after being discharged from the USMC. Alcohol was involved, and one thing led to another. Turns out she got pregnant, but we discussed this before, and she was going to get an abortion. I gave her 200.00 for this, but instead she chose not to go through with it. Now I pay 800.00 a month in child support to a person that I despise, and watch as she has a much better life than I do with my money. I lost my truck, my job, and I suffer from really bad depression as well, and I'm constantly deliberating on whether or not eating a 9mm would be the best fuck you I could deliver. Having sex a few times. After I broke up with my manipulative ex, she would play nice for a few days, then we'd had sex, and she'd try to get back together. Found out a couple days ago that she has been sleeping with at least one other guy as well, all while telling me she was only sleeping with me. She's tried to trap me into a pregnancy before, and I have a feeling that's what she's trying to do again. Needless to say, we aren't going to be having sex again. Well shit, this brings back memories of one of my exes. Forgot to take her birth control pill. My ass. My guardian angel saved my ass from having kids. I slept with my best friend. We had made all these rules and deals that ensured we'd stay best friends forever. We did it a few times. She fell in love and I didn't. I ended up breaking her heart and now she wants nothing to do with me. Like what? I'll never stop regretting her loss as a friend and she'll never stop hating me. She's probably always been in love with you. She was probably hoping sex would open your eyes and make you fall in love back. I met this one girl on Tinder and we finally decide we are gonna go and fuck. She told me beforehand that she's only ever met up with one other guy on Tinder and they dated for 8 months. So after we fucked, she asked if I wanted to see a movie with her, and I agreed as to not seem like an inconsiderate asshole, and the whole time she kept on calling me babe and kept on trying to kiss me in front of everyone. All I can tell you is that was the long 2.5 hours of my life. What did you see? Best one that comes to mind is probably with my most recent, now ex-girlfriend. Our relationship happened super suddenly and got really fucking intense. She also had baby fever and fell for me hard. Very early on, we discussed condoms being a must, and then she pretty quickly changed her mind. So we fucked without condoms. Then, she had the audacity, mid-fuck, to beg me to come inside of her. Even after we discussed contraception and talked about not doing that. She was on birth control, but also mentioned that she forgot often, and I'm not fucking chancing it. She did this to me a few times, only asking for it in the middle of having sex, before she realized how shameful and shitty it is to do that. One time I was a split second away from actually doing it, and I guess that's among the worst of the post-nut shame we've both experienced. Every time post-breakup that I fucked my manipulative, bipolar ex, we always had great sex, amazing. I would say my top 3 sexual experiences are all with her. But I always knew what would happen. She would randomly text me for booty calls until I caved, then we would fuck. Then the 3-month cycle of toxicity would start, only ending when I stopped talking to her again. 3-6 months later it would start again with the texting. So probably that, multiple times. Hooked up with an ex, instantly regretted it. She wanted to get back together. I just wanted to come on her tits. Did you come on her tits though? Asking the real questions. Had sex with a coconut. Felt bad about it. The coconut was nonplussed. God damn it. Never change Reddit. Get out, you heathen. She wanted to do it without a condom. We'd been off and on for a while and I knew she was on the pill. I'd seen her taking it, but was being extra careful. The one time, at the end, she wanted to go without to make it extra special cause she'd never done that with anyone. So I went for it. I didn't really worry about it. Except, then she disappeared. And I didn't see her again for a long time. And I always half wondered if maybe I got her pregnant. Arya Stark's sex scene. Not the Stark I wanted to see naked. I also think they took Ned out too fast. My first time. She blew me and then stopped to get on top. During that time, I lost my erection, and so I spent the next 5 minutes trying to jerk myself back to it. Ended up staying soft but came anyway. Virgin fuck up. Probably when I chipped a tooth on an almond. $200 down the drain. Did you still swallow the nut though? Spitters are quitters. A real man never quits. Hooking up with my manipulative ex because I was horny. You and me both, buddy. That sex was amazing, but the aftermath was guilt to the maximum. Had a one night stand with a friend who communicated ahead of time that she just wanted to hook up and blow off some steam during spring break. The next day she told me she loved me and I didn't have those same feelings. I'm convinced we'd still be friends if we never slept together. My first time was with this girl I absolutely hated, and I had done it out of spite because my ex had dumped me for not being ready to have sex. And then I got stuck in a 7-month relationship with this horrible girl because I made stupid decisions when I was emotionally compromised and refused to admit it instead of just dumping her. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. About 15 years ago I fucked my boss' daughter after the work Christmas party. I was the junior developer there and was the golden boy until that point. He phoned her in the morning when I was already knee deep in the fear and she just casually told him she was next to me in my bed. I lost my job not long into the new year for having an untidy desk or some other made up excuse. My biggest regret is that I lost my job and I didn't even get a nut because I was too hammered. Did you go after them for wrongful termination? He had an untidy desk, dude. Sleeping with his boss's daughter had absolutely no relation to his firing, of course. I was whacking to a Mariah statue at the back of this church. I felt disgusted after, but in my defense, that statue had some real boobies on her. Thank you. I got really tired of reading about shitty exes. This didn't help. So this happened last year at college. I was kinda buzzed on a Tuesday afternoon and I started getting kinda horned up. So I go on Tinder and swipe through my matches and find a girl that's not too hot but not gross. I hit her up and she immediately wants to smash, and I tell her I'll do it, but she's gotta pick me up and take me to her place an hour away. So anyway we get there and do the deed, and right after I finish she climbs on me and starts saying stuff like that was the best sex ever. You're great, etc. And I'm thinking, girl, I lasted about 4 minutes and 2 of them I wasn't even doing anything. That's when the post-nut clarity kicked in and I go, oh hey yeah, I forgot I have a team lift at the gym. Yeah, gotta drop me off like now. So she drops me off and starts saying stuff like, when will I see you again? I just said thanks for the ride and went into my building making sure the keycard door locked behind me, never to be seen again. She still DMs me on Insta saying how I ruined any relationship she will ever have with a guy because I was the one girl gym a break. I'd fuck her again, but I'm known to live dangerously. I've thought about it, but I always beat my meat before I make rash decisions. Drunk and hook up with a rando. Little older and bigger than typical target demographic, but it was last call and she was fun and had huge tubes, hot and heavy, blowjob in the elevator, etc. Got her back to mine and went to work. She was a little uncomfortable in her own skin and had a hard time letting go. Gave it my best shot, but after a couple hours I threw in the towel and passed out. Next morning I awoke to goo goo eyes and hi baby. She was all about lounging around and having another go. Tried not to be rude, but she wasn't getting the message, so I asked her if she wanted coffee, which I served to her in bed. In a go cup. Lid on. Legend has it, she is still in your bed to this very day. Savage, but classy.